Jesus, that's a big fish. That's the one. There we go, that didn't take long. And I can honestly say, never fished this area before. I fished out there and up there and down there and all out there, but not right here. This is a bit of a backwater that I'm moving into at the moment. And that is the first for the day. He ain't no giant, but happy to kick it off with that. He's fat though. Okay, settle down and I'll chuck you back. He's real fatty for his size. There we go, nice one. See if I can hold him up without getting spiked. Send him back, and there's loads of timber in this area, so I'm just fishing that there little slim swim on a little stand-up worm hook weedless rig so I can get it through a bit more timber, because the trouble is, as you can see there, that's all tea tree. And when tea tree gets old, it does one thing: it grabs hooks and it doesn't give them back. So I'll go with this system for a bit and see if we can find another one. Happy about that. Never fished here. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. Oh yeah, that's a heaps better fish. Alright, let's just get out here in the open. This tide, or water flow, is outrageous this morning. And I've just been trying to sort of work my way up edges and find where there's a little bit less flow. So still flow, but not too much. And as soon as I sort of got to this bank, there was just that little bit less. I missed one just before, and then this guy climbed on. That'll do. Not that big actually, but he ate it. Look at that. He has got that well down. There we go. It's a nice fatty, and he has just cake-holed that plastic. And I've missed a couple of bites on the worm hook. We'll send him back. He's a nice one. He's no giant, but he's in good nick. But I'm just using this guy here. You can see they've got that worm style hook, and that's just because of this soft timber everywhere that's sunken down in the water, and I can just get it through a bit more timber without getting snagged. The downside is it's a slightly thicker gauge hook, so when you get the bite, you sort of want to stick them to make sure you get it in there. So anyway, we're catching, so I'm happy. That's good. Let's go again. That was a bite. Not doing a lot of winding, just sort of more hopping, letting it swing down. And that little bit of swing there with the current. On my go again. I'm just going to step us across a bit so that we get in a little bit closer. Keep crawling our way back up. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a real nice one. Yeah, it's a good one. That is a real nice fish. You can see I'm even just sort of struggling a bit to drag him back in this flow. That's how much of it there is. Oh yeah. How you doing? How are you doing? Look at that. I know a lot of people don't get excited about bream, but that's a fair chunk of a fish. Happy. I just love it when you sort of have a plan, but you adjust to it. And this morning, obviously with this water flow being way more than I expected, look at that, big crunching teeth on that guy. There's tube barnacles and crabs and bait fish and whatever else they feel like. But the whole thing was, I'm like, there's heaps of flow. I'm going to try and find an area where there's just a little bit less flow. I still want some current. And literally got to this little bend in the river. I can't even, if I stick my fingers in there, they'll get crushed. Get to that little bend in the river where there's that little bit less flow, and straight away we're into them. Look at that. That's an absolutely beautiful fish. That's a real nice one. Big crunching teeth. Pop that out. Let's send that guy back. That's a real nice one. Another good one. Not getting heaps of bites, but the class of the fish is up there. That's for sure. Happy to not catch as many, but get better ones. Happy with that. All right. Get away from the electric. Get away. What a fish. Wait till you see this thing. Far out. Donkey. And these guys have got real big gobs on them. Look at the size of that. That is a beautiful big bream. And that's on a little 3-inch Kitech. And yes, that's probably what some people would class as a bigger plastic. I'll show you why I went to this, because there's actually a reason for it. He's a beautiful fish. How's the gobs on him? Watch this. So, big black bream, they call them blue nose because they get those blue nose, blue lips. Look at the teeth on that. Look at that. There you go. Hole 5. All right, so I was fishing this guy here. So that's the Z-Man Slim Swim. Great lure, really fine little paddle tail on it. And the whole idea of that is really short, tight vibration, but it kicks out a lot of vibration. But I was getting still snagged a little bit. So I went to this guy, which is a much softer plastic, but super effective. And what I like about these is in the back of the lure there, or the plastic, there's actually a rib. So when I put on this worm hook, it actually becomes completely weedless like this, but it's really soft. So as soon as the fish bite it, this just compresses down and we get lots of hook exposure. So it enables me to just get it through more timber. And that fish, I actually bumped through a bit of timber in close, and he ate it probably another metre out from the timber. Whereas if I'd have had a normal jig head, I'd have got snagged, gone in there, missed my opportunity. So that is my theory on this. That brownie colour really stands out in this dirty water. You wouldn't think it would, but it actually sort of really lights up, lots of UV in it. I am really happy with the start so far this morning. Like I said, not heaps of fish, but the quality's there. That's a good one. That's a good one. I think. That is a nice one. That'll do. Boys are coming over to say hi. There we go. That's another good one. Not quite as big as the others, but that'll do. Donkey. It's interesting, you know, back in 2020, fisheries in Victoria, they bought out all the commercial netters in Gippsland Lakes, and it's amazing how quickly this fishery has come back for both bream, flathead, but everything. And not that there wasn't a lot of fish in here, but now there's just so many big fish, so many little fish. Seeing this bulk amount of, like, you know, 20 to 30 centimetre bream fish like that. He's sort of probably 27, 28, maybe a bit more, but it's been an outstanding sort of recovery. And this is now, you know, Gippsland Lakes has become pretty well the home of giant bream in Australia. And look, the big fish aren't just here because the netting stopped, because they're big old fish, but I think they're just able to move around and do their thing without the hassle of nets and things like that. So he'll go in the well, and hopefully we'll catch a couple more of his mates. But the removal of netting has been outstanding, so it's good news. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Oh, bloody hell, it's a black snapper. Oh, Jesus, that's a big fish. That's the one. That's the one. Get away from the electric. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is what Gippsland Lakes is all about. Holy hell. Oh my God, this is a bream. Look at the size of that. Oh my goodness me. I'd like to say other words, but I'm not going to swear. Look at the size of that. That is a giant. That is an absolute monster. What a fish. Far out. That is a proper big bream. Oh man, that thing just jammed it. Little Z-Man grub. I'll pop that out. We'll get him in the well. Oh, far out. The weight in this thing is outstanding. That is so cool. And you know what? In Gippsland Lakes, slot limit of 28 to 38 centimetres, so you can't keep a fish like this by law. Not that I'd want to, because this is a big old fish. I'm going to put this in the well, and you have slot limits to protect fish like this, because this is a big breeder. One more look. Look at the size of that. Far out. I'm no bream fisherman. I used to do heaps of it, but it's not something I do a huge amount of these days, but I am getting more into it again. And far out, when you're catching fish like that, you can't not say that they're a cool animal. And that's what it ate. Just that little Z-Man grub, grubbity grub on that little stand-up jig head on the worm hook. I suppose the bonus to this, yes, you got a heavier gauge hook and all that, but when you get him on, the hook's strong. And that fish just ate, just went like donk, like a proper bite. And again, that for a 45-degree angle. It's just bizarre that that's what's working. Just giving the plastic maximum sort of fall time as it sweeps. What a giant fish. That was, I would say, a very unexpected day for me. I thought I'd catch a couple, generally smaller fish, but I'll take it. And now I'm going, because I've caught enough.